It's the most wonderful time of the year, college football bowl season, baby. And there are 42 bowl and playoff games to keep us entertained for almost 3.5 weeks. Starting with Toledo versus Middle Tennessee State and going through the national championship on Monday, January 10th, pick your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper and get every college football bowl game day release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $35 for the low price of $149. As an added bonus, make sure to download the free WagerTalk College Football Bowl Guide by going to wt.buzz/rm. From everyone at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, good luck this college football bowl season.
Welcome, everybody, to WagerTalk Today. It is Thursday, December 9th. We have a football game on tonight. Dave Cokin will take it apart. I'm Lawrence Presman, Steve Merril joining us, and Teddy still not right. He's having a rough week, but we wish him nothing but the best. Steve, my brother, I had a nice winning night last night, 4-2. Won my hockey game, which thrilled me. I am finally on a big-time hockey run, but I got a long way to go to catch Dave Cokin, that's for sure. How are you, man? How did you do last night?
Doing okay. We won the big game breakdown here for everybody, which was nice, with Virginia Tech by 33. And I left that off my best bet card, used it as the free play here and on the internet. And unfortunately, our best bet lost with the Sixers by a single basket. In fact, violation is they're having free throws, and then they give up a meaningless foul at the end and win by 4 instead of 6. You know, we're not doing a what did I learn, but I guess quickly that could be a what did I learn, that the NBA is about as frustrating and random sometimes as the NFL, Prez, and I'll just leave it at that, I guess. Still 34-19 this season on best bets, but man, that NBA can be almost as frustrating as the NFL down the wire sometimes.
Oh, come on, Steve. The NBA is way more frustrating than the NFL. It's not even
It used
close.
to be. It used to be, Prez, but the last 5 years or so, I'm not sure.
Dude, I had the over in that. I had the over in that Philly game.
Oh man, you missed that by like a basket also. Yeah,
that basket
went anywhere
won
from. Yeah, I'm sorry. It opened 217.5, closed 215, 216. So yeah, exactly. Landed right in the middle. Yeah, crazy.
Yeah. I had 215.5, so I won that bet.
Good.
That worked out well for me. I don't think anything compares to the inconsistency and strangeness that I call the NBA. And the NBA also has the world's stupidest rule in the ever. Like, there's no dumber rule in sports than being able to call a timeout. And I always used to compare it. I'd be like, just imagine, the NFL, you're down by two points with 4 seconds on the clock. You're at your goal line. But no, wait. The coach calls a timeout. The ref picks the ball up, marches it all the way down to the other team's 20. They kick a game-winning field goal, and it's over. That is the stupidest rule on the planet, advancing the ball. What the hell nonsense is that? Anyway, I just wanted to rant for a bit. Any thoughts?
Well, just quickly. It's all about offense, obviously, in the NBA, right? And the thing that still gets me, guys, is how you can take an extra step in the NBA versus any other level of basketball that's not a travel. I still don't. The rules are the same as far as travel, but they don't enforce it. And it's a good transition to our first guest, Dave Cokin, because I know Dave does not handicap the NBA, and we probably touched on some reasons why, Prez, if you want to ask him. But I know, Dave, you're not an NBA guy. Is that part of the logic behind why?
No, I just don't beat the league, so I stopped doing it.
Well,
if I can't win at something, I mean, what's? I'm not trying to hit 50%. So,
well, there you go, Dave Cokin joining us, guys. What a show, Dave! Right off the top, we're gonna look at the Steelers game, the Calgary Flames game, and Grand Canyon. I thought the Steelers game goes tonight, so that's pretty timely. Ralph Michaels joining us. He's got charts, I promise, and of course, Kyle Anthony at the end of the show. He's going to be talking about the big fight on Saturday night. Dave, how have you been, man? You winning?
The NHL's been really good.
Yes.
The NFL 4 of the last 5 weeks have been good. I had one bad week in there where I went 0-2. But outside of that, it's been terrific. over the last month and change. College basketball is kind of bouncing back and forth, but looking to find a rhythm there, but not winning or losing anything of substance in college basketball. So college football, got to have a good bowl season. It's as simple as that. And one thing on the Bulls, I haven't said anything out yet, and I'm probably going to be waiting because I want to see who's playing and who's not.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to have a lot of opt-outs, and I don't want to get stuck on a team that all of a sudden is minus multiple players who decide that they're not going to play. The list is going to grow every day. So that's something to definitely factor in. And to me, patience is going to be a virtue as far as the bowl games are concerned.
Yeah. Great point. Dave, let's get right into tonight's game. Minnesota Vikings against Pittsburgh Steelers. And really, I mean, both teams are in the playoff chase. Pittsburgh more so than the Vikings. It's a very important game. And, you know, I mean, from Zimmerman's perspective, I feel like his coaching tenure is on the line. There's clearly money coming in on Minnesota. We have a 3.5 on tap already. 44.5 is the total. How are you handicapping this game?
Well, I think the number's right, so I'll get that out of the way. But this is one where it may call it the eye test or the get a feel for it test. The Steelers aren't very good, but they're still in this thing, and they've got a veteran cast, and they're coming off a good win. That really helped them. The Vikings might be about at death's door. I mean, the San Francisco game was bad, and then they follow it up with a loss to the Lions. I think this team might be in stick a fork in them territory. There's no way I want to back the Vikings at this point. And in fact, the idea of the Vikings as a favorite is appealing enough for me to go ahead and take the other side. I'll take Pittsburgh. You can get +3, +105, or you can wait around and maybe get 3.5 at -110. I think the Steelers are going to go in and win the game. I can't give you anything concrete in terms of numbers that point that way, but I got a feeling that, and you know, sometimes we go on feelings. I think that might have been it for the Vikings and for Zimmer last week. He might be in. We'll finish out the season category, and then make a change. But I think the Vikings might be on the way to nowheresville at this point.
And Dave, I mean, one thing we've seen since we've had a lot of these Thursday night games in recent years is that it does appear, you know, sometimes the home team has a little bit of an edge. Obviously, both teams playing on 3 days rest, but the road team loses it, obviously, with the day of travel as far as preparation, a little extra travel. How much does that concern you tonight? And also just the setup here. They were coming off that, you know, tough home underdog win against the Ravens. They've got Tennessee on deck. Does the scheduling spot concern you a little bit here with Pittsburgh?
No, because the Steelers, I think the Steelers are smart enough to know they can't overlook anything at this point.
Yeah.
This is a game they really need. I mean, you could say Minnesota needs it too, but again, it's just what I said before. I think the Vikings look like a dead man walking right now, or dead men walking. And I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think either one's capable of blowing out the opponent. But to me, I'd just rather have the dog here.
Dave Cokin joining us, everybody. And Dave, I get it. It makes sense. I'm in action on that game tonight, guys. I got a client play up for you all. So if you want to check that out. No analysis on my play tonight. Had 6 pages of analysis on the Buffalo Bills game. Throw that one out the bloody window. Anyway, Dave, let's talk Calgary Flames tonight. Love this game. They're playing Carolina, and they're -130. And so many ways to look at this. I mean, Carolina, 17-6 on the season, and now they find themselves as a dog. Clearly a little bit of value there. They have won 2 games in a row. Calgary has lost 2 in a row, but are coming home from what we would call a West Coast road trip. They'd call it down the road. How you handicapping this one?
Well, I don't know that there is value in Carolina. The market doesn't think so because they've bet the game up, and I agree with that. Look, it's not like this 2-game losing streak for the Flames was a disaster.
Yeah.
Vegas played a good game against them and pulled it out. And the Flames played okay at San Jose. Their goaltending wasn't real good in that game. They'll have their main guy back in between the pipes tonight. And I think it's time to start looking at Calgary as a legitimate team. This Sutter's, they're playing Sutter's system now. He really didn't have time to input it last year when he took over. And, they never really put it together. But I think what this team has done so far is legit. Nothing wrong with the Hurricanes. I mean, they're a really solid team. But Calgary, to me, still looks like a go-with team. I like the Flames in this game. And I think the good price is gone because you could have had minus 115. But I think they're going to win the game. So even at minus 130, I would have to lean that way. By the way, NHL to date is 27-15 plus 27 units. So we're rolling as usual in hockey. Got a good win last night with the Canucks as home dogs. And we'll try and keep it going tonight.
Dave, you mentioned that, and we spoke about this on Puck Time. You mentioned that Calgary is a good team. Their record is what it is. They're more than a quarter way through the season. I'm not buying into them. I look at this team and I think they have made very little changes in the last 2 years. They've been garbage for the last 2 years. And they have a new coach. And yeah, that coach is a taskmaster to say the least, but I feel like Calgary's a fade team moving forward. You disagree, clearly.
Yeah, I disagree. I think the personnel is solid, and I've always been a Sutter fan. His system works.
Yeah.
Okay, and this team's buying into it right now. Markstrom has been fantastic in goal. No, I think Calgary's legit. Look, there's a lot of teams that are legit, and Carolina is too. But I don't think the market's caught up with how legit this Calgary team is.
Dave, we're going to transition over to college basketball, and I believe you'll be on with me, won't you, today at 1:45 Eastern for the college basketball show. We're going to be live here on WagerTalk TV, so we'll break down some more college basketball in about an hour and a half. Myself, Dave Cokin. I think Ralph Michaels also join us. He's on here in a few moments. Of course, Joe Ranieri will be leading the helm. This game's interesting. You sent it over last night. You're usually ahead of the moves, and you sent this over as a look-ahead game to look at with Grand Canyon plus 4.5. It is now down to 4, even 3.5 in a lot of spots. So I would say that's probably some sharp money coming in early in the morning overnight on Grand Canyon at Arizona State. Just your thoughts on this one. Do you still like it at 3.5 and the logic behind that move?
Well, it's just an opinion. I'm not playing any college basketball tonight. And this one has me a little bit baffled. Preseason numbers, and again, we make adjustments off that. But preseason numbers, Arizona State's a pretty big favorite in this game. Not that Grand Canyon's a bad team, but Arizona State was supposed to be better. But we've seen, once again, this year, Arizona State not living up to expectations. They lose Bagley to an injury early on, which was critical. But finally, their last game, now is it a buy sign? I wouldn't say that. But Arizona State is off a good game where they beat Oregon. Granted, Oregon's been inconsistent so far, but that's a game Arizona State really needed because they had not been playing well. Grand Canyon grades out as the better team on what's taken place so far this season. Just forget the ratings going into the season. Based on the way the two teams have performed, Grand Canyon's been better than Arizona State. So from that standpoint, you can make a case for Grand Canyon, especially with the Arizona State defensive numbers, which suck. They're a really poor defensive team. My concern is that, number one, Grand Canyon is enormously popular here. I don't know that it's sharp money. I think this is public money on Grand Canyon, and that's driven the line down. I don't like public dogs. And the second thing is I think I want to see how Arizona State performs after what arguably I would say is certainly considering the timing, their best game of the season. If they go right back to playing the type of basketball they were playing going in, that's a sign to what to do going forward. But maybe they can put something together here. If I had to bet the game, I'd take Grand Canyon. But it's just an opinion and not one I would actually bet on.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you that exact question do you think that could be a breakout game for Arizona State with their 9-point underdog outright win at Oregon? And also, how much does the step down in class do you think favor Arizona State here? And Grand Canyon, meanwhile, coming off a 91-44 win over Mississippi Valley State. They played Texas San Antonio. They're obviously stepping up in class, even though ASU is struggling. How much does the class difference here worry you?
It doesn't bother me a bit because the one thing we've seen out of Arizona State already this season, they don't bring it every game. Doesn't matter who they're playing. They get some bad losses on that resume. To me, it's a learning game. I'm willing to forgive last season for Arizona State because last season was such a screw up with the COVID and the scheduling, and it was just a mess. But I don't feel as though I know enough about Arizona State. I know what they've got on paper. They should be a pretty good team, but the chemistry just hasn't been there. Maybe they come together out of the Oregon game. I think this is one you watch and learn rather than bet and gamble.
Dave Cokin joining us, everyone. Dave, thanks so much. You're on every Thursday. We love having you. What do you got to promote?
Best bet in the NHL, which I already talked about. Nothing in college basketball. Small play on the Steelers in the football game, so you don't have to. Well, I didn't even put that up for sale. And that's about it. Looking forward to a good weekend. A couple of games in the NFL I like a lot for Sunday. Have not posted them yet, but we'll do so probably sometime today.
Excellent stuff. Dave Cokin, everybody. And guys, just a quick reminder, we have a site-wide promotion going on right now. $249 for everyone. Well, anyone's plays right through to January 1st. So any handicapper you want, all access, all sports, there 5% plays, et cetera, for only $249. No promo code needed. And our bull package is $149. And Dave Cokin should be looked at for that as well. That's it, Steve. We're going to take a quick break, brother. Get your chops ready. Your big game breakdown coming. Ralph Michaels, Kyle Anthony, the daily presidential address. The show has just started.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. College football bowl season, baby. And there are 42 bowl and playoff games to keep us entertained for almost 3.5 weeks. Starting with Toledo versus Middle Tennessee State and going through the national championship on Monday, January 10th. Pick your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper and get every college football bowl game they release, including any 5% best bets normally priced at $35 for the low price of $149. As an added bonus, make sure to download the free WagerTalk College Football Bowl Guide by going to wt.buzz/rm. From everyone at WagerTalk and Sports Memo, good luck this college football bowl season.
It's time for a little big game breakdown here on WagerTalk Today. We're doing this on Thursday, December 9th, but I'm going to look at a game for this Sunday, December the 12th in the NFL. Not necessarily the biggest game on the board, but I think there's one where we can find some value with a total, an over. I always defer to look at the overs in the NFL because it's still a points-happy league, a pass-happy league, even though the scoring is down maybe a little bit this year compared to years past. And because of that, we're starting to get some totals in the low 40s once again. And I want to look for an over here in one of these games. It's going to be the Saints and Jets at 1 o'clock Eastern Sunday afternoon here in Week 14. Let's look at the over 43. Both teams have struggled this season. Offensively, they've obviously struggled at times. One thing that has not been good, though, is the defense. Those have both struggled as well, and struggling defenses are always good for an over. So let's figure maybe the two offenses here can pick things up a bit and get this one over 43, and I think they can. First of all, the Saints coming off the Thursday night game against Dallas last week, so they get a mini bye, a little extra time to prepare. And I always love when offenses, especially struggling offenses, have extra time, and that's the case here with New Orleans after putting up just 6 against Buffalo on a Thursday night game, only 17 against Dallas last Thursday night. They now get a little bit extra time before traveling to New York and facing what's a pretty bad Jets defense, to say the least. The Jets are giving up 30.5 points a game this year, almost 6.5 yards per play. They're below average against both the run and especially against the pass. And when playing overs, you always like to see bad pass defenses, and that's what the Saints' problem is also. In fact, the Saints have one of the better run defenses in the league statistically, 96 yards allowed, 3.6 yards per rush, and that's pretty impressive considering they've now lost 5 straight games and teams run when they have the lead. So the Saints have a good run D. The Jets don't run the ball well at all. They're not going to even probably try to run it here in this game, but where they do have the edge is having Zach Wilson back at quarterback. Only the second-year quarterback, but he's a huge upgrade from what they've had earlier, including Mike White, the most generic backup quarterback name in history. No more Mike White. No more Joe Flacco, former Super Bowl MVP. Zach Wilson's an upgrade. I think they'll continue to play better down the stretch here offensively. And the Saints' pass defense has been bad this year, giving up 7.2 yards per pass, 64% completions against teams that averages 6.8. So I think the Jets have success through the air, especially at home here. I look for their offense to pick it up. And I think the Saints definitely have success against a Jets defense that's been bad all year with the extra preparation time for New Orleans. And this is a low total on top of that, sitting at a modest 43. So let's take a look at the Saints and Jets over the total, over 43 on Sunday afternoon at 1 o'clock Eastern in Week 14 of the NFL. And don't forget, my NFL Fade the Public video will be posted this weekend right here on WagerTalk TV. I started it in late November last year. We went 31-7 through the Super Bowl, fading the most public sides and totals. So far here, since late October into this month, we're on I believe it's now a 14-7 run the last 6 weeks, 67% fading the most public sides. I'll let you know which they are this weekend right here on WagerTalk TV. And don't forget also to check out my page at WagerTalk.com. I've got a 5% side, the strongest side selection I've seen this year in the NFL, ready right now. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com. Back to you, Prez.
Steve, let's talk about this New Orleans, New York Jets game for a sec, and then we'll bring Ralph Michaels in. I am not feeling you're over here. And, you know, I look at this and I say to myself, if this game goes over, New Orleans is covering the spread. The Jets have allowed 33 points. The Jets have, no, what is it? My notes are too far
on the season.
But the Jets are allowing a lot of points scored against them. And that's sort of where, in my mind, we look at the over. But man, I got to think to myself, how does New Orleans want this game to be played out? And, you know, my gut feel is New Orleans wants to lay down 10-minute drives. They want to slow the game down to a crawl. They want to keep their offense on the field. I fear that the Jets aren't going to be able to get enough points for you to get to that over. I like the under in that game.
Yeah, one thing I forgot to point out, Prez, on this 5-game losing streak, in fact, if you can go back to the Tampa Bay win before that, their last 6 games, the Saints have allowed 23 or more every game. They've allowed 27 or more in 5 of those 6 games. So we'll find out if this Jets offense is going to be better with Wilson at quarterback now, because this Saints defense has been pretty bad. And keep in mind also the 17 points against Dallas last Thursday, they had over 400 yards of offense, but they had a 4-1 turnover deficit. So
yeah,
this isn't an official best bet for me. It's a game I was considering. I'd call it a free play, a 1% to 2% opinion. But like Dave said with Grand Canyon, you know, it's kind of a watch and see a game for me for both teams for the reasons we're talking about. And we're getting some value at 43. It's just a low total for the modern NFL, and I think that's based on the recent offensive struggles. But I think both defenses here are suspect.
Yeah, and those totals, Steve, I mean, the difference, and we should have spoke to Art about this yesterday, the difference between the totals now and at the beginning of the year. I mean,
yeah,
Jesus, there's 41s and 42s all over the place. Ralph Michaels joining us. Ralph, how are you, brother?
Doing great, guys. Always love being on with you on Thursdays.
Any thoughts real quick on what we were talking about with the New Orleans Jets game?
Well, you know, I was looking on the logs as you guys were talking, and, you know, the one thing about the free NFL logs available on my page is that you can see the quarterback starts. So let's remember, you know, Wilson started against New England. He got hurt. White came in. White started the next game. White started the second game. And then Flacco had to start. And then Wilson, who missed 4, came back. So there is some Jets continuity, which they haven't had all year, that Wilson now makes his 3rd start. So, you know, while the Jets went under those first 3 games, let's remember you have a rookie making his first 3 starts of the season. You now have a rookie making his 9th start and his 3rd straight start after missing 4 games. So from that standpoint, I do see some improvement coming from the Jets offense.
Love it. One of our listeners writes over and under on Prez mispronunciating New Orleans. Yeah, what? I'm supposed to pronounce it Norlands? Like that's right? Anyway, and I suppose Jaguars is mispronounced too because it's Jaguars or something. Anyway, whatever. Ralph, you got a new WagerTalk College Football Bowl Guide. These are must read. You do such an outstanding job with them. Tell us about it.
Well, simple. It's to help you break down the bowls. I have the logs updated for the entire year for both teams. Remember, they include first quarter and first half logs. Things like, did you know LSU has gone under the total in the first quarter, 9 straight games? I have the last 10 years of the bowls. And most importantly, in the stat compares on the top of each bowl sheet, I have year-to-date stats, including yard per game diff, point per game diff, and yards per play diff. I have away neutral only stats, and I have stats against FBS winning teams only. So we're throwing out all those blowout wins against FCS foes and against weak FBS opponents. So there's some interesting numbers there. One that jumped out to me, when you look at road neutral games, the number 2 team in yards per game diff in the entire NCAA was Mississippi State at plus 166 yards per game. That's offense minus defense. That's an impressive number for me when they go on the road. Wisconsin was number 1. Ohio State was number 3. Alabama only 6. Georgia was actually number 7 in that category. Free download, full of stats, WagerTalk, Ralph Michaels page, or wt.buzz/RM.
Awesome. And guys, you really need to check it out. I mean, Ralph's work is high level, Tom Brady-esque, if you will. Ralph, well, let's turn our attention to the NFL. Chargers playing the Giants. Frum looks like he's going to be the quarterback for the Giants. Herbert's definitely going to be, I mispronounced his name there, people, not Herbert, Herbert. The quarterback for the Chargers. You want to talk about the total in this game? Regale us with your thoughts.
Well, I'm going under. And Steve, I do want to correct you with one thing. And Lord knows I never do that. But, we talked about over-unders this year. Year to date in the NFL, unders are hitting 57.1%. Last year, the overs hit 51%. But I will say this, and you made a great point. The average total year to date has been 47.3. We're seeing that number plummet as we get into the December games. But again, just keep that in mind. Unders in the NFL have hit 57.1% year to date. Yep. I'm going to go under in this game. You look at the Giants, and we know the Giants want to run the ball. It doesn't matter who's playing running back. The Giants, in the last 2 years, 6 overs, 21 unders, and 1 push. Now, from what I read, Glennon is likely to be cleared, so Fromm will just be the backup quarterback. So even with Glennon at quarterback, I have no problems with this. And when I look at the Chargers, I really find some value in their defense. Yes, they have gone over the total in 4 of 55, 69, 64, and 61 plays in the last 4 weeks. Added up for me, it's the Chargers and Giants under the total.
Yeah, once again, Ralph, Jake Fromm, of course, the Georgia quarterback from a few years back. He was drafted 5th round by the Bills, and they didn't even hold him for more than a season, so it does make you worry if he's in there instead of Glennon. I'm seeing Fromm in some spots. Glennon might play now. Glennon, of course, played last week and really had no experience in recent years. He played with the Bucs like 8 years ago, started more games in his first couple years than he has in the last 6 years or so in the league. So either way, it looks like a pretty weak quarterback situation for what's a really weak Giants offense already. By the way, I'm not even sure what you're correcting because I think, like I was saying, I thought the totals had dropped this year, as you just said they did. And so you're saying definitely scoring is down this year compared to last year, correct? Because that's kind of what I was getting at as well with the total analysis. Or you seen overall scoring in the NFL dropping this year compared to last season?
It's dropped significantly. Last year's average over-under number was 48.27. This year, it's only down a point, but scoring's been down 4 points. So I had thought when I just logged on, I thought you said there are more overs this year, and that's why you were looking for an over. But so my apologies
I wanted to
on
make
that.
sure because no, it's fine because my point was that I felt like the totals were lower than they've been in last year and even at the beginning of the season. So that definitely is the case then. And that's why, maybe we'll start getting some value with some overs because like you just said, Ralph just said 57% to the under this season. They're dropping the totals accordingly. Obviously, some bad weather, Prez, comes into play. But I still think these offenses have the edge over a lot of defenses. So we'll see how that plays out, Prez.
Yeah, and Steve and Ralph, I mean, you got to remember, this is also indicative of the fact that we've got a lot of running teams now, right? I mean, we had a team on Monday night run the ball every single play except 3. Philadelphia's running, Washington's running, New Orleans is running. So we are starting to see a little bit of a change, and it will be interesting to see how that change happens next year, whether we go back or continue the progression towards running. Sorry, Ralph?
Let's remember this as well, guys. We have not had a season like this where we have rookie quarterbacks all over the place. Let's remember, Deshaun Watson not playing. The Washington football team loses their starting quarterback the first game. You have Lawrence down in Jacksonville. You have a rookie in the Jets. I mean, you have young quarterbacks playing all over the place. Normally, what happens? A quarterback like Mahomes comes in, sits a year or two, gets some experience and plays. The NFL has changed. You draft a quarterback, you're going to start him, and that has hurt some of the offenses as well this season.
Yeah, Ralph Michaels joining us, everyone. We still have Kyle Anthony coming up to talk UFC. Jeffrey Moore writes, what I have learned after a month of these shows is fade the Prez's free picks. Jeffrey, I haven't lost a free pick on my Prez page in like a week. As far as my free picks on this show, 2-1 yesterday. I haven't had a real losing day in free picks on this show in like a month, and I'm probably on a massive run. So I don't know what the hell you're talking about, but I love you nevertheless. I need 30 more likes for the daily presidential address, please. And we had a 2-1 day yesterday, so let's go. Hit that thumbs up button. Ralph, you've got a teaser for us in the NFL for Sunday. I can't make heads or tails of the notes you wrote, but I'll just leave it to you.
Hell, I don't even remember what I wrote, Prez, but
I
will
reads
say
like this. Let me tell you how it reads. Teaser: Denver -2, New York Giants and Tennessee -2.5. I don't know how you do that. Yeah. And Jacksonville.
And then it says,
Prez, okay, let me
bread,
explain this.
milk.
Denver. Who's Denver playing, Prez?
Denver is playing
at home against Detroit
Lions.
And Ralph,
so you're going with a 4-teamer. So it's
Ralph,
a 4-team
we blessed
teaser.
this teaser yesterday. Prez and I blessed this on the air already yesterday. So I want to hear your analysis because we're on board with you.
Here's the problem, Prez. When you're like me and fat fingers typing, when you type the New York Giants instead of Detroit, it screws you up on the show. So how about that?
That's what happened.
The teaser. Here's the teaser, Prez. This is not Prez's fault. This is Ralph's fault. So my apologies. I just looked at what I typed. The teaser is this.
Couldn't
Denver
figure it out.
Minus the points. It's a 6-point teaser, and I'm going to bring up two situations of why I like this. First of all, we're going to fade Detroit off a win. Now, the Lions are playing well. You know, you got the tie against Pittsburgh. You got the win against Minnesota. But they were playing two teams that weren't playing well at the time. When I went to the database, two systems I found, one on this game, one on the other game. When a team is off an upset win of a dog of 6 or more, like Detroit is, and they're a dog of 6 or more again, so you're a dog back-to-back games of 6 or more points. Listen to this record, guys. Since 2005, 17 ATS wins, 46 ATS losses. Those teams, like Detroit, in a 27% situation or a 73% fade. And it makes perfect sense. While people may look past the Lions after they tie Pittsburgh and after they beat Minnesota, guess what? You are now focused against a team that hasn't lost in 2 games versus not being focused against a winless NFL team. And that team like Detroit, ecstatic off an upset win. So first half of the teaser is to play Denver. Second half of the teaser is to play Tennessee. And what we're doing is we're looking after the first month of the season, winning teams of 60% or more off a loss of 21 or more points. So you're a winning team, you're off a blowout loss. That's Tennessee. They were off a 36-13 loss to New England. I don't care they don't have Derrick Henry. They're still a winning team off a blowout loss. And when NFL teams get embarrassed, they bounce back. What do they bounce back to the tune of? 75% against the spread, and that's in the full game line. I'm going to cut it down to the teaser. So Tennessee and Denver, a 2-team teaser backed by 2 very positive NFL league-wide situations.
Yeah, and Ralph, unfortunately, I got to be the bearer of bad news for all of us because on the show yesterday, I used Denver minus 7.5, minus 8 as a play we talked about here. And then I said it makes an even better teaser play. Prez and I agreed. So we were looking for another teaser. And we both said, hey, look, Tennessee, hard to imagine they're going to lose that game straight up. Let's get them below a field goal and either a 6, 6.5, whatever you got to use to get them to 2.5. As of the last couple hours, folks, Denver is now minus 10 because the Lions have illnesses and COVID concerns. So we might not be able to use the Broncos as of now anymore in a teaser. And this literally just came out within the last couple hours. Some rumblings yesterday, but the line has now moved from 8 to 10 in most spots. So keep an eye on that. We get the Broncos back down to 9.5. We can use a 7-pointer, get them down to 2.5. And of course, the key with these teasers is getting to 2.5 or less. You got to cover those key numbers in the NFL. Ralph, real quickly, any college basketball jumping out to you? You're going to be on in about an hour with me with Dave Cokin, myself, Ralph Michaels, Joe Ranieri here on college basketball. Tip-off show at 1:45 Eastern. But anything you want to talk about here in college hoops while we still have you?
Very lightly, and it's a very light card. I know Dave talked about the Grand Canyon game. I will say this, Grand Canyon has yet to beat a Power 5 opponent, so they are really looking forward to this game. They also have one ASU transfer and another local kid, but I'm going to look at Iowa State. I just think this line is way too inflated. Now, Iowa's off back-to-back losses. They played Purdue without their best player and made a massive comeback in the second half. I think that cost them the next game as well in a home loss. But this Iowa State with the UNLV coach, TJO, they are playing incredible defense. The line, people automatically assume a good team like Iowa off back-to-back losses is going to bounce back. Iowa State looking for triple revenge in this in-state rivalry. Low-scoring game. Cyclones keep it close.
Yeah, I'm on that game as well, Ralph. And if you guys want to know what I'm betting, head over to WagerTalk.com. Guys, remember the promo we've got going? $249 for anybody, all access until January 1st. Also $149 for anybody's bowl games. Ralph, anything else you want to add quick?
Nope. Check out the guide. It's up and available right now. WT.buzz/RM.
Awesome stuff. Steve Merril, Kyle Anthony is going to be joining us, and he had an outstanding week last week. There he is. I get flushed when I see him. I don't know why. I'm like totally heterosexual, and it just
Totally heterosexual.
Totally
Didn't have odds on that one. I can usually kind of guess what I might hear from the Prez, but totally heterosexual. I did not think that one was coming out today, but I like it.
Yeah, I'm getting used to this. This is every time that I come on here. I'm kind of getting used to it now. The uncomfortable is now become comfortable. The uncomfortable is comfortable now.
Kyle, things could be worse than a totally heterosexual man getting a little flushed over you.
Thank you. I think. I'm not sure. I'm not too sure anymore. Yeah, right.
So Steve, Kyle texted me today. He's like, Prez, the 7 women I'm currently dating will not be watching the show today, so we can talk about them. Last week, I almost got him in shit, though.
You did. She told me she was going to be watching, and then I was like, he started talking about other girls. I'm like, I just kind of didn't say anything and just kind of let it keep going. So I think we're safe today.
Excellent.
You're the one, I texted you. Wait a minute, I texted you this. This wasn't supposed to be on air.
You clearly don't know how I work.
Yeah, right.
Like,
vicariously through you.
Yeah, we all live vicariously through you, Kyle Anthony. Give us a bicep flex, would you? Yeah, never. Oh my. Oh, do it again.
That's it.
Okay, bro.
Let's talk UFC.
Yeah, and you know what? You kind of look like Dustin. I think he could take you. Great call last week, though, on Aldo as a dog. Now we have Oliveira as a dog plus 140. This is going to be a action-packed fight, to say the least. And I think we're going to see a grown man cry at the end of this fight. Poirier's really been trying to become the champ for years and years and years. This is probably his best shot at it. This is his redemption year after beating Connor twice. And really, the guy was about to retire last year. He was just so despondent. Minus 170. I love him here. Talk me out of this bet.
All right, so I think the first thing here is obviously, Dustin, he's got the boxing, he's sharp, has the footwork. And the other side, it's Oliveira, he's the grappler, he's really elite level grappler. But the big thing here for me is where Oliveira has kind of brought his striking. He kind of was a one-trick pony, kind of looking for the submissions, and now he's kind of really put it together. Over the last 3 fights, he's really looked comfortable in the pocket, exchanging. He's throwing more versatile strikes, which is, again, it's just showing the tiering of it. And I think the big part of this also is a lot of people are overlooking the last fight with Oliveira versus Michael Chandler. Michael Chandler is an animal. He's got power. He's got wrestling. He's got everything where it comes to it with the pressure. And even in that fight there's a couple things that I think are big takeaways that people aren't talking about. And the first thing is he knocked out Michael Chandler. He knocked him out in the second round. That's massive for a guy who's really known as a grappler. And as well as the fact that, Chandler is another guy where he was almost looked like, Oliveira was fighting with adversity. The first round was tight, first round was close. And then you go into the fact that also that most recently Chandler went 3 rounds with Justin Gaethje, and Gaethje has got big power. So for the fact that Oliveira knocked out Michael Chandler, I think says a lot. You also, let's not forget, he's on a 9-fight winning streak. Out of those 9 wins, 8 of which have come by finish, 5 by submission, 3 by knockout. The only one he didn't finish was Tony Ferguson, which he had Tony in a pretzel, and he still wasn't tapping, but he dominated that fight also. But then your side, you've got Dustin Poirier. I feel like he's a victim of strikers, where if you look at his career over the last 15 fights, about 14 of them are pure strikers, guys that he can square up with. He can be comfortable in the pocket. He can brawl. He can push forward. He has no issues with doing those kinds of things. And even the Dan Hooker fight a couple fights ago, he's a striker. Dan Hooker's a striker, and he still took Poirier down 4 times in that fight. I think a big issue here is Dustin, he likes to square up. He likes to throw big hooks. I think that's going to give opportunities for Charles to kind of move forward, look for the grappling. Also, there's going to be a threat for takedowns. That could make Poirier more timid in the pocket and vice versa. Charles can kind of walk him down, not worrying about takedowns. I think the Chandler fight was actually harder for Oliveira than the fight that's going to be happening Saturday night. So, give me, the guy with less MMA mileage, more past the victory, more weapons at a plus number, and the current champion. I think it's absolutely Oliveira here. This is a fine play. I'm actually giving this one out for free here because I really feel good about it. Plus 140 is a great number. I think he goes out there and he gets the job done.
Damn you, man. I'm cheering for a win. I just got.
Hey, I like him. I like him, but I can't do it.
Okay, well, let's move on. So Steve slacks me, and he's like, you handle the next fight. I'm like, no, I can't pronounce their names. You handle it. He's like, no, I got nothing. I don't know how to pronounce their names either.
Yes, he's got it. There you go. Just say that.
What are you talking about, Prez? I never did any of that. Prez is making up stories.
Yeah. He's been practicing. Anyway, just go.
Pick 'em.
Sure. So this is at a pick 'em price right now. You're looking at minus 110 here. I'm not somebody who's rushing to the window to bet heavyweights. There's a lot of randomness that goes into it. That's why the champions don't keep the belt for so long. It takes one shot, ends the fight. But I think this is a trajectory thing. I think both these guys are kind of on different little bit paths here. You've got Sakai here, who's Sakai on the one side here, coming off back-to-back knockout losses, and they were brutal losses. I mean, he lost to Alistair Overeem. Alistair Overeem is a guy that's a striker, and in the middle of the fight, he just started taking down Sakai and dominating from the top, mauled him on the ground, got the knockout victory, and then he comes back and he fights Jardineau Rosenstruck. Looked like he was very timid there. Sakai kind of backing up, not really throwing much volume, and then he gets knocked out in the first round. Sakai likes to be the hammer, not the nail. He likes to be the guy pushing forward. He likes to be the guy with the power. He likes to move forward. When it's the opposite, he's very uncomfortable in those spots. He wants to set the pace. But Tuivasa is a guy that is going to bring the fight to Sakai. He's going to push forward. He's going to move forward. Over the last 3 fights, he's knocked out all 3 guys in the first round. Now, he didn't knock out these high-level guys, but he looks better. He's changed camps. He's looked a little more cleaner. He's cleaned up some of his, the footwork and some of the other things. But the big thing for me here, and the biggest reason why I like Tuivasa to get this victory, is he's added leg kicks. Now, this is something that nobody does really in the heavyweight division. Nobody really looks to throw leg kicks and mix it up. You've seen now over the last few fights that he's done that. He's added the leg kicks, and it opens up the shots up top where he's got big power and he's got the ability to walk everybody down. And the last part here is that Tuivasa has been working with Daniel Cormier. Now, I'm not saying he's going to go out there and he's going to wrestle him for 3 rounds, but that's just an opportunity, and you've seen the vulnerability in Sakai. If someone like Alistair Overeem can take you down and keep you there for rounds and just throw elbows, that shows that Sakai has a vulnerability off of his back. Tuivasa could expose that. So for me here, I do like Tuivasa to get the victory. I think if you're looking for the knockout, you can sprinkle in Tuivasa via knockout plus 140. I think there's value there as well.
There you go, Kyle Anthony. Awesome stuff, dude. Didn't hear a word. I think you said something about a kielbasa sandwich.
Why do I come on here? Why do I come?
Everyone else heard you, Kyle. Everyone else heard you.
Yeah, you don't come on to me. Like, come on, I can just text you.
Oh, he
like privately. What are you betting tonight?
He came on. He muted you and just looked at you for 2 minutes. I swear.
Yeah, dude. I just frothed it. I frothed for a little while. What do you got to promote, bro?
So I got the 4% play best bet for $2. If you want to check that out, I have a 5% play. I'm on a 4-0 run on the 5% plays. Cashed in 18 of the last 23 weeks on a 10-1 run. Over the last 30 days, over 30 units of profit. So check it out. Got plays up there, got free plays. And also, if you're interested, check out my Twitter at KyleAnthonyUFC. I'm giving away a super box, which basically it gives you every sports package for free, every pay-per-view. It's legal, Prez, so don't worry. And check it out. I'm doing that giveaway. That'll be going on Saturday night.
There you go. Kyle Anthony, everyone. It's time for the Daily Prez. Welcome, everybody. And Kyle Anthony's still on the screen. How am I supposed to concentrate? What the hell? Anyway, WagerTalk Today. Check it out. What an incredible show. Dave Cokin came on. Ralph Michaels, Kyle Anthony. We looked at a bunch of NFL games, including the one tonight, the UFC fights for Saturday, and on and on. Ralph had a chart. He always has a chart. So check that out. What an outstanding show. Hope Teddy will be back tomorrow, and that's no disrespect to Steve, who's done an outstanding job stepping in for him. The NFL presidential address is up. Make sure to check that out. His second most watched show behind Bet on It on the WagerTalk channel, and my record on that show is ridiculous. So make sure to take a look at that. 4 free picks for you guys today, all hockey. Let's start with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Minus 125 versus Tampa Bay. And, one of the big things that I like to look at when handicapping is I like to take contenders versus champs in the regular season. And this is a perfect spot for that. The Leafs are going to be much hungrier than Tampa Bay. It's a measuring stick game for them. I like the Leafs minus 125. I also like the Edmonton Oilers tonight. Boston is playing on a back-to-back. Edmonton's lost 3 games in a row, and their scoring has really slowed down. I see a breakout game for the Oilers tonight. Calgary under the total tonight. They're playing Carolina. I like under 5.5. I think that's going to be a low-scoring game. And I also like the Montreal Canadiens under as well. So that's the Leafs, the Oilers, both on the money line, Calgary under and Habs under. Other than that, Steve, Merril, I got to eat eggs today. I had surgery on my mouth yesterday, and I can't have a sandwich. Damn it, brother. Take us home.
Got to eat eggs today. It's something else I didn't think I'd hear on Wager Talk today, but I love it. Eggs are good for you. A lot of protein. Prez, thanks for having me. Teddy, feel better. He should be back tomorrow on Friday. Either way, we will all be here watching at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, Monday through Friday, Wager Talk Today. Don't forget, college basketball tip-off show. Dave Cokin and myself, Ralph Michaels. You get to see more of us here in 1 hour at 1:45 Eastern. Also, the NBA show at 4:15 Eastern tonight on Thursday as well. And don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell. We're only 12,000 away from 100,000 subscribers. Hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for instant alerts. Give it a thumbs up, and most importantly, comment below. Let us know your thoughts on the Thursday night football and basketball card, who you like as well this evening. Thanks for watching as always. Don't forget also that $249 special is still available at WagerTalk.com for the rest of the year 2021. If you want just the bowls, it's $149. That's up there as well, WagerTalk.com. Best of luck tonight on Thursday. We'll be back tomorrow at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, right here for Wager Talk Today.
First, we at Wager Talk would like to thank everyone, as a record number of you took advantage of our Thanksgiving 7-day special. We hope you enjoyed the convenience of getting your favorite handicappers plays daily during the hectic holiday weekend, and we also know that December can be a crazy month. Now we are offering a rest of calendar year special. Get every NFL, college bowl game, NBA, NHL, college basketball games, and all other sports of your favorite handicapper through December 31st for only $249. The early bird really does catch a worm for this special, as it starts the day you sign up. No coupon needed. Pay only $249 today or pay $249 in a few days. The choice is simple. Let's have a great ending to 2021.